Om Shanti, how are you? So now the world, uh, especially India, is facing unprecedented amount of rape cases, sexual assaults, and the main reason for that is doctors educating people that sex is not bad, masturbation is not bad, multiple partners is not bad. They keep on telling this and corrupting human minds. So, but anyway, people intuitively knows that sex is wrong. That's the reason they want to come out of it. So you can see it among people of all religions and castes. So they know somehow intuitively that it is wrong, especially after committing that sexual act. They feel so guilty. They don't even look at others soon after having sex. If somebody knocks the door while you are indulging in sexual acts, when you open the door, you will feel guilty to even look at their eyes. So intuitively you know that it is wrong. But these educationists, doctors, they try to corrupt our mind by saying that sex is right. Anyway, now what is the method to come out of sex? Because people think that when we are young, very young, we do not know anything about sex. We don't even get attracted to opposite gender. So it's only after reaching certain age we will start having that attractiveness. Then our mind slowly gets corrupted by our friends and the society. So at one point when you start indulging in sexual acts like masturbation, your mind gets even more corrupted by consuming pornographic materials. And especially when you start having sex with a real partner, that's when you become more corrupted. From that moment on, you will dare to go to any extent. Your mind will stop working on its own, stop differentiating between right and wrong. That's how you start getting involved in extramarital affairs. So, in a recent television program, a college girl said this: you can believe young guys and sit next to them in the bus or train, but never sit next to the old man. They are very dangerous. So this proves the fact that sex doesn't fade on its own. If you think by indulging in sexual acts it will automatically wither away, because that's how people believe. They think spirituality is for the elderly people. Youths should enjoy sex. But what they do not know is it's a one-way path. Once you enter the path of sex, there is no returning back, no matter how old you become. Even death will not put an end to your sexual addiction. Because people commit suicide when they have huge burden of pain. They want to forget that. So they think death will accomplish that. That's why they commit suicide. But even after death, they still remember it, because they are not this body, they are this soul. that shines like a tiny star in between the eyebrows, which is why we apply tilak here. So mind and intellect is within the soul, not in the brain. As a result, even after leaving this body, they are still obsessed with those negative thoughts that made them commit suicide. So that will torture even more. So if they are roaming as a ghost, so the punishment will be very severe, because they will be they can go anywhere they want in a fraction of a second, just because they don't want to think about some painful incident they committed suicide. But now, the moment they think of it, they will be there. For example, if somebody betrays a girl, cheated on her, or dumped her, she couldn't take the pain and she committed suicide because she was obsessed with his thoughts. So that's why sometimes they even commit murder or they commit suicide. Now, when she is bodiless, now the moment she has the thought of her lover, she will appear right in front of him in a second. It doesn't take any time. So that's going to torture her more. Before that, she didn't know that what he would do. Now she can see it herself. So that's going to torture her like anything. So, but after some time, if she is lucky to take birth in a mother's womb, even then she will have the thought of her past life until she gets delivered. So that's going to be huge pain, because we will be shown the vision of all the criminal acts that we did in our past births and the consequence of that. So, for example, if somebody kills another person because he was doing injustice to him, so he may think that it is right on his part. But now, while he is in the mother's womb, he will have the vision of the consequences of that act. After his murder, his family will have no one to support. Maybe the girl gets married to somebody else and the kids are dumped. Or maybe they get raped by their stepfather. So all these sins happen because of this sin of killing that particular guy. So he has to bear the consequences of those sins. So that will make him worry a lot. So likewise, there are many visions you will get that will punish you like anything. But anyway, once the child comes out of the womb, he will forget everything, at least slowly. By the time they start speaking, mostly they don't remember, but rarely they remember their past birth. It happens, we can see it in YouTube, but that's very rare. But even then, the sex one cannot forget even after death. That's the reason in the next birth, while we are young, after reaching a certain age like 5 or 6 or 7, we will start getting disturbed when we are near the opposite gender. That happened as a result of the past acts your mind slowly gives the feeling that you experienced while you were having sex in your past birth. That's why you get disturbed. So such dangerous is sex. So don't think that you can conquer sex by indulging in sexual acts, because that's how Osho teaches, that's how many spiritual leaders teach. But that's not the truth. See, people break their head to conquer sex, but you can find in several countries they try no fap. They couldn't even cross 1 month without relapsing. So that shows how addicted we are towards sex. So it's not right that you should indulge in sex when you are young. But the truth is, you should never indulge in any sexual act, no matter what your age is. Because the more you indulge in sexual acts, the more your mind gets corrupted with sexual visions and sexual thoughts. So at one point, the second you see a girl, your mind will give the mental picture of a nude image. So when that becomes the case, then you will at one point even start misbehaving with your close relatives that you are not supposed to misbehave, like your sister or someone of your mother's age, like that. So the severe punishment is always for sex related cases, like the Kolkata doctor's rape and murder case. Even in Islam, the severe punishment is for the adultery and rape. So that should say how dangerous sex is. Now, to conquer sex, you can never conquer it by indulging in it. People think that you will get fed up with sex at one point of time. That's never going to happen. You may fed up with your wife, but not with sex. You will still be attracted even more with other girls than your wife. So that is the reason for many extramarital affairs. Now, people, they try many ways to practice celibacy, to conquer lust, but they always fail. So the way to conquer sex, even in dreams, it seems impossible in the beginning. Of course, it is impossible for humans by human guidance. But here in Brahma Kumaris, we received the direction of God, not humans. So by God's guidance, it is very much possible and very easy to conquer sex to the extent that you will not even have any wet dreams, because people think it's normal. No, it's not normal. It is because your mind gets corrupted that you start getting wet dreams. Even that won't happen, because sperm is created by your thought. Once you free your mind from any sort of sexual thoughts, your body will not develop sperm for you to ejaculate in dreams. So it won't happen. And when your mind is free from sexual thoughts, my God, what a relief is that. Now your mind is free to focus on anything you want, because sex is the greatest distraction, sexual thoughts. So there are many reasons to conquer sex. There is absolutely no reason to indulge in sex. Because what you think of initially as pleasure, that's going to destroy your life both spiritually, mentally, and physically. And it will end up making you a criminal, making you spend the rest of your life in jail. So, how to conquer lust? Just think of how you have no idea of what sex is during your childhood. Did you try anything? Did you indulge in sex to conquer sex? No. You don't know what sex is. Actually, you wouldn't even stare at anybody's body. Actually, you don't even look at people's face. You don't know what you are staring at while you are speaking with others. Maybe you are just watching their mouths. That's it. And you didn't get even slightly disturbed. So that's what we should do now. Stop looking at the body. Of course, we were so addicted to watching the body due to consumption of more pornographic contents. Now, you should somehow force yourself not to look at body, not to look at anything below the neck. But that's not enough, because face is enough for you to get sexually triggered or to have love feeling. Even that's part of sex. So you should even come out of it. You should have absolutely no disturbance at all by opposite gender. So what you should do? God says, you know that people compare children to deities, devatas, because of their purity. Of course, devatas would also be pure, but they were million times more pure than newborn baby. Because baby, as it grows old, get addicted to sex, but deities, even after becoming old, they would have no idea what sex is. Want to know when they existed? They existed 5,000 years before. So this is a 5,000 year time cycle, the first half of which was heaven and the last half is hell, where we are now. The good news is God comes in the end and we are now in the last 100 years. So here God teaches us that we are not this perishable body, but we are imperishable soul that shines like a tiny star in between the eyebrows, which is why we apply tilak here. So bring your focus to the forehead, in between the eyebrows. Whoever you interact with, just make sure your focus is in between the eyebrows and not anywhere. Not in the eyes, nose, lips, anywhere. Of course, it takes effort and time, but be disciplined enough to practice this. And anyway, we don't have that power, that much concentration. So that's why first we need to consider ourselves to be soul without a body. Just think you don't have a body. Consider yourself dead to this world. It is when you have this body consciousness. If you are a male, you will get attracted to a female. If you are a female, you will get attracted to male. But once you constantly remind yourself that you are a bodiless soul, and you have this habit of looking only at the soul, then you will find yourself no longer getting attracted to opposite gender. But To fill yourself with that much power, you need to remember God as a point of light. So God resides here in this golden red colored light world called the soul world or Parandam or Parlok. This God exists as a point of light, so tiny that one cannot see. Even souls are tiny. God is also a soul, but He is supreme soul not in size but in the qualities. So He is called God Shiva by Hindus, Allah by Muslims, Heavenly Godfather by Christians. He doesn't take birth. So Jesus Christ, Krishna, they took birth from a mother's womb. So they're not gods. God is just one. He stays away from taking birth either in heaven or in hell. Nonetheless, he has to come here to give this secret about this 5000 year time cycle, because only he has this knowledge. And also he gives us the knowledge to become pure again. That's why he is called the purifier, Patit Pavan. So by remembering him constantly, we slowly become more and more pure. But we need to increase the time of remembrance, the duration of remembrance, so that at one point you will no longer be attracted to anything or anybody outside yourself. Your focus will always be within, and your mind will always be connected to God. Once you reach that stage, you will not be disturbed by anything, not only sex. You will not be provoked by anything. You will not be afraid of anything, because it is only body consciousness that makes you have sexual attraction, fear, anger, greed, attachment, ego, everything. Once you consider yourself just as a point of light, there is nothing to be egoistic about. And you will experience constant blissfulness, because that's the true nature of this soul. That's how deities were when they were in heaven. In heaven, they resided in a palace made of golden bricks. Nonetheless, it wouldn't have any windows or doors, because nobody there knows anything about stealing. In the palace of the king and queen, ornaments of pearl, gold, they'll be just there. Anybody can see it. They won't put it in a locker. Nonetheless, nobody even have any thought of taking it. So that's why it was called heaven. So in order for us to go to heaven, we need to be soul conscious now. So how do you know that you have become soul conscious? You will no longer get attracted by anything or anybody. So that's how you conquer sex, by seeing the soul, not by seeing the body. And also there are some people, some spiritual people, they compare women body to garbage, warm, so that you will develop disinterest in girls. But that wouldn't work. It might work when you are in a forest, when you are not surrounded by girls. But when you are surrounded by girls, when you are in a family, it won't work. So, moreover, it might create a sense of hatred between genders. Already there exists some kind of hatred, right? So that's not God's way. And you will never conquer lust through that. So people nowadays don't get married. They call it 6B. or something, 6B or 4B movement. They don't get married not because they're not addicted to sex, but they don't want to handle the problem they face with men. They have their toys to satisfy them sexually. So it doesn't mean they are sexual. They are not addicted to sex, but it is the problem you face through natural calamities or diseases or through anybody. The root cause is sex. Once you are able to stay pure, undisturbed, then you will see that you don't face as many problems as you faced when you were addicted to sex. Slowly the problems will decrease. At one point you will have no problem, but you will be constantly happy, no matter what happens around you, because you detach yourself completely from the body mentally, not in a physical sense. So the only way to conquer lust is to be soul conscious, is to practice soul conscious. There is no other way. This is the only way, this is the easiest way, this is the way given directly by God. Only through this method you can conquer lust. No other method will help. Om Shanti. Thanks for watching. And in order to get the direction of God directly through Brahma Kumaris, reach the nearest Brahma Kumaris center. You will get this knowledge called Murli absolutely free of cost, because it is run directly by God, not by any human. And also you can get Murlis in several languages in YouTube and several websites. You can Google it yourself. I'll be giving the links of some of them in the description below. Om Shanti. Thanks for watching.